everyone. So today we're making a really easy and delicious banana bread. For this you will need oats. I like to just get the regular whole grain oats, really ripe bananas, coconut oil, butter or ghee, baking soda, and eggs at room temperature. Optional add-ins would be walnuts, cinnamon, and any other spices or anything that you'd like to add. Sometimes I'll add blueberries and walnuts together as a nice little combo. Today I'm making 2 loaves of bread. One's going to have walnuts and one's just going to be plain, but they're both going to have cinnamon because if you've been seeing my videos, I love cinnamon. Okay, so this calls for 2 cups of oats. Goes in. I'm just going to make 1 loaf at a time of mixture so that we can easily follow along here. I'm making a mess. Add a little bit more. So first you want to add your oats and 2 cups of oats and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, now you're going to blend this together and then we'll add the other ingredients. So as you can see, I have a pretty flour-like consistency with just the oats and the baking soda. So now we need to add half a teaspoon of sea salt. Okay, here goes our half teaspoon of sea salt. And we need 3 medium bananas. So I've got 6 here, so I'll use the first 3. Try that. And I did forget to mention, we also need honey, so it's a 1/4 cup of honey. Or you can also use syrup. Pour that in. So we have our bananas, 1/4 cup of honey or syrup, and then we add the eggs and blend again. So the recipe calls for 2 eggs at room temperature. So today I set out 2 eggs before making this to help get those ready. And I like to crack them in another container to make sure that we don't get any shells or if the egg is kind of icky. That looks good. Excellent. Okay, so now we blend one more time. Okay, it's nice and blended, it smells amazing. I am going to add some cinnamon. And with this, I just like to shake some in when I feel is appropriate. And I'm just going to dump it in. I've got some pans already sprayed. I'm just going to dump that right in, let the cinnamon kind of blend as I'm pouring it in. Let's bring this a little closer. Get my spatula here. Really want to scrape the sides. This is where you'd want to add in any mix-ins. So if you have any nuts or like any other spices, this is great. You can also add the spices before you blend it. It just depends on one, if you remember, or I like to add it after so then it's less spices in our bowl mixer. They tend to stick to the side a lot. I'll just scrape all this in. The oven's on at 350 already. There's that. So with this one, I will add some walnuts. But here's a quarter of a cup. Make sure they're broken into pieces. I'm just gonna sprinkle them in throughout and then give it a little stir with my spatula to get it mixed in without being like breaking them down, like as if you were to put them in the blender. And I'll just gently mix them in, get them well spread apart. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make my second mixture using all the same ingredients except walnuts. No walnuts this time. And then we'll be ready for the oven. Okay, so I did forget the coconut oil. Because this one already has nuts, I am going to go ahead and just melt the coconut oil in the microwave and then stir it in. Give it a nice stir into my already filled pan. And then for the next recipe, I'll be sure to put it in right away before pouring it in my pan. Okay, batch number 2 is all blended with coconut oil this time. So I'm just going to pour it into the pan. I already sprayed these, both pans. I considered starting the one loaf of bread while waiting for this one to get made or like prepared. But I'm just going to throw them in both at the same time. That way I don't get super confused on which one's which or whatever. So once I get this in, again the oven is already preheated at 350 degrees. These can take anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes. So just kind of keep an eye on it and check it as you go. I use the toothpick trick, dipping it in and seeing if it's ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my cinnamon. Give it a whirl. Really swirl it in there, make it look pretty. Make it smell amazing. Oh yeah, nice cinnamon swirls through here. This is gonna be fantastic. All right, and in the oven we go. I'm back. The great thing about the long bake time gives me plenty of time to clean up all of that mess. So it's time to check on the banana bread. As I mentioned earlier, I like to use the toothpick method. So this looks amazing. There we are. And loaf number 2. They look great. All right, so toothpick right down the middle. It came out clean. This one is done. Also clean. So this took about 37 minutes or so, and I'm gonna let them cool, and we're all set.